Welcome to SKYZ Talk Show. I'm your host, Dr. Mpofu. Today we've got a special segment, a bit different from the guests we've been having. Today we are going to a different side of arts, into books, theatre, and DJing. Our special guest today is Onesimo Ngcotsha Mpofu. I'll let him introduce and greet you guys.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you, everyone? My name is Onesimo Ngcotsha Mpofu. Many know me as Onesimo Ngcotsha, many know me as Ngcotsha, some know me as SKYZ because of the works that I do.
Hey, already this is a very now. We poet actually, no, it's child. And then on the other side, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm aka Pixie. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a scriptwriter for comedy. I'm also partially a comedian, but this one I think is better.
And then this side to my left.
My name is Moyo. I am an actress, scriptwriter, and director from Purple Brain Productions. So, yeah.
Since there's competition of listing here. Hi, my name is Onesimo Ngcotsha. I'm an actress, singer, model. Yeah, definitely we're going to be wanting to know more about Onesimo. As I've mentioned, you know you're a DJ, you're a singer, you're an actor, anything else I'm lifting?
Yeah. Okay, I'm an author, multi-award nominated author. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm an actor, I'm a keyboard player, I'm an aspiring music producer. Yeah. It's like the list.
You said it's also a bachelor.
No, you know what we see actually say. That one is the NTPP, not to be broadcast.
Tell us, embracing all these things in one calabash, how do you manage that?
I usually get that question a lot. If you were given a talent in the arts, each talent supports the other. So it seems like it becomes a seamless wheel, whereby the moment maybe you are writing a poem, for instance, you get an idea or a title for a novel, or you're busy writing a novel, then something just clicks, you get a title for maybe a poem, then you start writing a poem, or you get a melody, then you start like singing, at the same time you're writing, then you put the book aside, you do the music side, then you put it aside, knowing that I've got it now, I can't lose it. You put it aside, then you continue with what you're doing. So some of these things, they support each other. It's all about you discovering the way in which you're going to put your time, manage it well, so that each of these talents, they do support each other and they don't sort of like suppress each other. Yeah, for example, maybe I'm called to do poetry. Sometimes I incorporate music. I start with music. Then, because most people knew me as a poet before they knew me as an author, before they knew me as a musician. So when I came in as a musician, like, you also sing. So sometimes I start with maybe a hook there. Then when they're surprised by the hook, then I do my poetry.
Okay.
So it's all about you.
So at least we know that when you find love, you sing about it, act about it, write about it. It's the same way we have. Okay, we'll find those areas.
Yeah, you have to learn to. The thing is, as artists, sometimes we limit ourselves to maybe one situation or one phase of life, whereby life has got many phases. It is multifaceted. So you have to be able to maybe write from every phase of life, you see, so that you're not stopped by whatever situation that you encounter.
So all this is something that you discovered already, matured, or you grew with some of these things and learned others later. How did you go about it?
Okay, I discovered that I'm a musician when I was young. For example, in grade 1 I was already singing. grade 2, I could lead the national anthem in front of the whole school. Then, by the time I was in grade 4, grade 5, I was already doing poetry at school. I was already doing acting. So then, the thing that I discovered, I sort of relaxed when it comes to poetry when I was secondary and high school. Then later on, I discovered that I was just sitting on board. For example, like we were at an event with the group that I sing with. So in the midst of a song, I got in and did the totems. Then someone came to me and said, I didn't know that you are actually a poet. Then the second person did the same thing. Then I was like, then after I worked at the poetry bee that has been sleeping for years. Then what I discovered, I started to discover over years, is that I actually have talents, a lot of talent that work together, supporting the arts in me. So what I discovered and learned over time is how to use my energy, how to take all the different talents and make them work for me.
Today, I have these young ladies here who are members of Africa Life Foundation, and I know they would love to ask you questions because you are a calabash. All the areas, the hair portfolio, all comes and sums you up. So, ladies, you got the floor.
Firstly, I would like to ask, what does it take for me to become you? They say I want to become you. What do I need to do?
That one will take you sitting down and trying to disintegrate all the components that make me. One, you have to be time conscious. Like for example, everyone has got equal number of hours per day. For example, if you're formally or employed, you work maybe 7 to 8 hours roughly, then a healthy sleep is 7 to 8 hours. Let's say 8 hours, 8 hours. It makes how many? 16 hours per day. Then what makes you different from the person who is next to you or the other person is what you do with these other 8 hours that make it 24 hours. You see? That's what you have to master, the concept of time. And also the concept of patience.
Like your name?
You have to really be patient.
I'm totally the opposite of that.
Let me tell you something. I went through a lot of challenges. Well, there were shortcuts that I could take, but you know what I learned along the way? If you hurry to get somewhere, you miss half the fun of getting there. 2, you're going to miss the lessons that you're going to learn while you're being patient and working your way up. You will miss those lessons that will keep you when you are up there. Some people, you know, they just shoot way up there, then they fail to stay there on top because they took a shortcut. And then when they fall, it's the loudest noise that you're going to hear. Is that going to be heard? It's like someone releases just one track, it's done.
That statement was, you know, here I am thinking I'm going to ask favors from you. Make my song go to the top 50 one time, top 10 one time. So now you're telling me I need to go experience it. So ish.
Let me tell you something. You know, there are other shows that where my music features. They will tell you that I don't come to them and say, we work together or we've worked together. So please, can you maneuver the way for me and get me there? No, I take each and every step like everyone, submit my music, submit my work, and let them determine whether my work, the quality, and what's contained in there, is it worth for people to view it or to hear it? Then they be the judge, not me. Yeah, then the other thing that you have to do, don't limit yourself. Allow yourself to get out of the comfort zone. Sometimes we tell ourselves that I can only do this, I can't. That's the word that has prevented most of us from getting to where we are supposed to be. because where we are is not where we are supposed to be, then you have to erase the word can't in your life. Because, for example, you are going to face challenges. I faced challenges over even people who are my family couldn't believe in me. Which leads me to the other concept whereby you must be stubborn when things start to matter. Yeah, someone once told me that I'd made a guitar. So I was trying to play it. Then they said, you know what I did? Then it came back to me. I found myself as a keyboard player. You see? So sometimes when things that matter, you have to be persistent. Some people will tell you that, for example, someone told me that I'm having a pipe dream, people listening to me on radio. Then when I got to be on radio, they were the ones who were telling me, wow, you know, this is my sibling, you know, this is my relative, you see. So sometimes you have to be stubborn on things that matter in life, especially your talent, something that you're passionate about. You have to be passionate about what you are doing and never be apologetic.
I like the word that you use. They say, don't limit yourself. I want to say this to our project manager. I always tell his people that you are also a host. One of these days, she should sit on this chair and host this show. She's eloquent, she's confident, but she's learning from sitting on this chair. So Skyo has to come up with
you get to have pressure here and there. You don't know how to manage this and that. So I just wanted to know from you, how do you get to manage the whole pressure? You're on radio, you have to write, you have to be creative in your head. How do you handle all that?
Okay, point number one is that make sure that your creativity is not bound to one place. For me, everywhere that where I go, I make sure that I don't leave that place empty-handed. You see? So creativity doesn't have to be maybe time-bound. And then the thing of pressure. The problem that we have is that in most cases we tend to allow people to put pressure on us instead of being the ones who pressure our own selves. So if you pressure oneself, you know that even people might try to put pressure on me, or what situations can try to put pressure on me, but that pressure won't overwhelm me because I have already put pressure on myself before. So if you get used to that pressure that you put on yourself, you are able to handle pressure. Then the other thing is, don't try to fit in some circles where you don't belong. It puts pressure in a lot of artists. Don't be a fake. Be your real self. Because you are fake, you will work harder to fit there instead of being. But when you are just yourself, you just flow. You're just like a river. It doesn't struggle to flow. Wherever it flows, you just flow. You don't struggle. You see. But if you try to be an eagle, what is to a penguin, you will struggle. Trying to put on the feathers and everything. You see, those feathers will always fall off and bring you to the person that you are. It's like a mask. It will always fall off. Then people see the real you, they say, that person is fine. But if you are yourself in everything that you do, you won't have that much pressure. And also, the people that you hang with, sometimes they will put pressure on you, positively or negatively. Sometimes they will make you act out of character, trying to fit in or be amongst them. Then you have a problem. Then if you are yourself, you don't have to try so hard. You use a lot of energy and resources trying to be someone you are not. Like, for example, don't struggle to be Onesimo Ngcotsha. You know, I am myself. Wherever someone meets me, he is just him.
then I'm spotting another talent there. I think you should become a motivation speaker. Because I think when it comes to encouraging people, it's like you go on, you start flowing like a river.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I do. I'm good at challenging people. Those that I've groomed, those that I've inspired, they will tell you that, you know, if you take time to sit down with this person or meet him just for a few minutes, you will live challenged. Because I will just tell you from experience. Because there are things that I learned, that I went through, that made me who I am. I didn't take the shortcuts, but along the lines I learned things. With no one telling me that you have to do this way. Or let me tell you something. You know that I was supposed to publish a certain book, right? So I approached a few guys. They said, as soon as you're done, we're going to help you. When I was done, I'm here, my brother. So what do we do? They started telling me stories. Then maybe they will tell me, you have to go to National Archives, you have to try and register your book. Then in trying to find the way there, I learned a lot of things. You know what happened? I self-published my first book.
And here I was about to say, why were you stuck in there? Africa Life Foundation is here to help you put out your book, everything, done for you by Africa Life. So next time,
yeah, by that time I didn't know, I was new when it comes to music writing. So I learned the way, the harder way, which makes me who I am in order to push others using the experience that I got.
This is Onesimo, a man who does it all. He's everything. We are going to see and hear more of him after this break. Welcome back. Would like to go on. You get a question?
Yes, so there's this book that you wrote. It's called The Resolve or Share. So it consists of like all the poems that you've written. So there's one that really gets me. I read it once and it's still stuck in my head. So it's called Confused Confusion.
Okay.
There's this line that I would like you to maybe elaborate on, or maybe it's lines, the second of the last stanza where it says, men are uncles to their own children, grandfathers are fathers to their own nephews, husbands and wives playing hide and seek behind waiting rooms. So I believe this has something to do maybe with the generation that we're living in. So can you please just take us through that? I would really appreciate.
Okay, the title on its own, it says a lot. How can a confusion be confused? You see? It leaves you somehow confused as well. You know, I was taking the things that are happening these days. For example, how can someone, a father, be an uncle to their own child? It seems like there are a lot of things that are happening whereby there are secrets in families that are not revealed. You grow up seeing someone as your uncle, introduced to you as your uncle, while it's their own father, but they are afraid of telling the truth. And the thing of Umjolo these days, broken marriages, wives and husbands playing hide and seek behind the rings. These days, a ring doesn't mean anything. To others, they see someone with a ring as someone who is responsible enough to take care of them. You see, not as someone who had vowed as a commitment to someone, to a family, but they see you as someone that can provide for them. You see, so there's playing of hide and seek. The husband can in a small house, the wife, I will not then tell it's things that we see each and every day. So it's a confusion on its own, because marriage is something that's sacred. So I was just trying to bring it to light how confused is the times and the generation which we live. Yeah. Basically, I was just trying to bring a perspective of how things are 180 degrees away from what they are supposed to be.
I know my manager said I should ask one But from this whole poem, Confused Confusion,
Yeah.
did you somehow experience some of those things that you included? Yeah, even if it didn't happen to you personally, but did you really, make a close one, go through some of those things?
Okay, I'm someone who loves researching. And I move a lot because of my work. And I've seen lots of things happening from growing up until now. So those things are summed up in that poem, whereby things are not the way they're supposed to be or we expect them to be. So when I see such things, they somehow motivate me to sort of like raise awareness, tell people that no, this is a confused confusion. There are things like this that are being swept under the carpet instead of being addressed, because at the end of the day, it's not about parents, it's not all about the community. What about the generations that we are bringing up? What about the generation Abuya? You see, that's my worry. I'm worried about the future generations.
And actually, I realize you've really done a great job in raising awareness. All the books we're holding here, all these, the books that he has written, and basically even the titles, Gias Balwani, so I realize your books are all about awareness. But we'll hear more about the books when we come back again. Here, our two guests here can let you know about themselves and what they're having that's upcoming.
Okay, so I think I introduced myself and I told you that I am a writer and a director. So at Pepper Brain Productions, we have our first ever theatre musical that we're going to be launching on the 12th of November and 18th of November. So we just have to watch out for it. It will be at Lawayo Theatre, 5:30. Tickets are $5, so you can grab yours as soon as possible at Africa Light Foundation, Cape Building, 2nd floor. Thank you so much.
Or you can follow that on our web pages, YouTube. We'll be fighting more about that. So,
Actually, as for me, I'm now thinking I should start by talking to him so that he helps me, because I'm not really a comedian. I'm not really that best of a writer because I've seen this. This is extraordinary. Anyways, I'm trying to come up with 3 comedy videos for in the next 2 weeks, and then 2 songs, maybe videos. They're coming up. No titles yet because I write at that time.
So all this is going to be powered by Africa Light. So follow them. Stay tuned. We're coming back. Welcome back. We've got a new guest with us right now, Lincoln. Lincoln is an author also, and this is an opportunity for him to meet a hero. So to hear more and get to have interaction and find out more. Lincoln is also with Africa Light. You can also introduce yourself, let them know who you are.
Okay. My name is Lincoln Moyo, aka Lincoln in the Bird. Experience when I'm writing, I'm a creative writer, an author, and also a musician and poet, but under empowerment, of course. And also wishing to learn on how to act. So having Onesimo Ngcotsha Mpofu, I've been able to actually be an adventure to actually hear more how to do it. Yeah.
Actually, the two of you are acting like you don't know each other. When we do each other 21st birthday parties, you're the MC for his birthday. When I told him you're going to be the guest featuring with him, he was like, that can't be my 21st. So I'm not like MC, I don't know. You're called AKA Bird. What's the bird?
I would love to actually say go to the dictionary and actually check the meaning of bird.
Which bird? Because you end up thinking about the bird that flies.
So
Okay, we've got bad, what is it?
Yeah.
Then we've got a bad with then we also have a bad with backyard. Then we have got this bad, Lincoln, who is a professional author, poet. Bad, the spelling is B-A-R-D. If you go to your dictionary or to where you go, you actually have a definition.
He's an author, he's got the glasses, and he's got these long terms and long things. Okay.
Seems like you're the one well out now.
Oh, actually, I don't have glasses. So, what's this thing with authors and glasses?
No, it's a lot of killing of words. And you see, if you're carrying a book, just imagine how many words survived the shift delete pattern. They are the ones that are here.
So, I'm definitely far from being an author also. So, about those books that you've written, how many have you written?
Oh, I think about 10 now. Some of them are collaborations, some of them I write them alone. For example, there's this one, Guess Barwami. Isn't known as SKYZ. So I was just allowing my poetic pen to just dance on the sheets.
Can you tell us what's the book all about?
The book is about the life of now, looking at the situation that we're facing as well, growing up especially. It thrust more on people with disability, street Asians, and orphans also.
And this is all in poetry.
Yes, it's poetry. It's empowering poetry. It's actually empowers.
Wow. I heard you had a question, a brewing question for him.
Yes. I think today is my opportunity to actually be people of Ngcotsha. But second, he was there on the 21st but that was there. But today is another season to talk about what I can do and how I can do. And I understand is the only man who is there who actually take me and take us. So, yes. So the question that I have is how was the experience to actually find yourself having printed something also like entities? How was the feeling? How were the challenges? How did you manage to overcome them?
Okay, firstly, I would like to congratulate you because it's not an easy thing to get a book published. Sometimes you have to divert time from other things that you're supposed to do and concentrate on your work. So I'd like to congratulate you for this achievement. The thing is, there is no other feeling that you can compare to holding especially the hard copy of your work saying, I've achieved this. I remember the joy I felt the day I held the hard copy of my first book. So the feeling that you got is what any other writer feels when they are having the first copy, the hard copy of their work. It's quite an achievement. Deep inside you feel that satisfaction. I've done it. I've achieved something in life. Things that you go through, there are financial challenges. Sometimes you get demotivated. Some people say, you're no longer spending time with us. What's going on? You know, so sometimes it's hard to balance time between writing, the family, and work. See, so it takes you to sacrifice. Sometimes even sleep late, trying to see how many words will survive the digit pattern at the end of the day. So sometimes you have to be disciplined as a way of getting yourself there. Then at the same time, you also have to try not to pressure yourself much, have enough time to rest and be creative in the process. Because the moment you apply pressure on yourself, it becomes even harder. You become like, it closes your mind. But if you get enough rest and get out there to meet people, or it's at work, chat with a few friends, it opens you up to some use also that you're going to use in your work. So even as you work, it needs you to keep an open mind. Also have enough time to rest, be creative, be patient at the same time, because sometimes you are demotivated, you can't even write. You see, allow the process to take place. Trust the process.
And there on his question, the process that might be the scariest and the hardest is distribution. How did you go about distribution?
You need to have a team that will do the marketing. And if you choose self-publishing, make sure that you have less sleep, less rest, and work hard. So if you're going to use a publishing house or a marketing agency, you really have to have people that are going to have your back, have your interest at heart. Get the book not to just to the elite alone, but each and everyone, even the pedestrian on the streets, they get to know that there is such a book. Create a buzz even with the social media, everywhere, such that if someone introduces you to the other person, they say, so I've seen your flyer, or I've seen an advert about you. Like when I was coming here, I met someone who knows me that I act with. Then they were with someone, then someone said, how are you, Mr. Ngcotsha? They said, oh, so this is Mr. Ngcotsha. Since they've seen something, they've heard something about me. So it needs a team that will work tirelessly, taking your work to the people, marketing you, making sure that people know about your work. That is very, very crucial. Each and every platform, let it be used to get the information out there to the people.
Then there's the other issue of how do you price them?
Oh, it's a hard question to answer because it depends. Firstly, you have to calculate the cost, production costs, because at the end of the day, those production costs have to be covered at the end of the day. Also, take into consideration the size of the book. It does take a toll when it comes to pricing your book, and also what's inside, what is it for? Can an ordinary person who has to benefit from this afford it? So you have to try and strike a balance in how you're going to get the monies that you used in the production, or to get them back. At the same time, trying to get each and everyone to have a copy of your book and benefit from what you're bringing to them.
So how did you overcome the challenges that you faced? I can imagine from the time you started to write a book, what were the challenges?
I had to be stubborn. I'm actually, in things that matter, I'm very, very, very stubborn. Because I know already where I want to be. So you have to be stubborn to overcome the negative words sometimes that are thrown to us, even by the people who are closest to us. The people who are the stumbling block, mainly, they are people we relate to each and every day. They are the first people that you have to try by all means, listen to them, then you see the information that's going to take you to your dream, then the other things that are there to derail you from getting there, you have to push them aside. Then make sure that you stay on track. Get where you're supposed to be, because at the same time, there's nothing that's painful than not getting to where you're supposed to be. You know, personally, if I don't finish the work that I've started, I feel pain. And one day, I'm going to be judged and asked, what did you do with the gift that I gave you? So I have to be able to stand and say, God, this is what I did with the gift. And the more you use your gift, these are the other gifts that are added unto you. You see? So you have to make sure that you don't let other people bring you down. In trying to please them at the same time, think about yourself.
And then when you said stubborn, I thought you were going to elaborate and say, they're busy asking me when will I marry, when will I settle down. I was busy with the book.
Yeah, there are things like that. But sometimes that pressure has made some people make wrong decisions. Some of them, they're not happy in their marriages. Some have even divorced. You see? So allow the process to take place. Don't be pushed by people to make decisions that will, at the end of the day, affect you alone. They will not be there. Mind you, they won't be there. They'll be there in their family, with their families, with the people that they chose for themselves and married at the time they want to marry. So, even your work is also important, that you contribute to the society, you contribute to the literal world. So that, I always tell people that don't live a life that is www, then it's done. Wazalwa, wapila, wadla, wafasta. You have to leave a legacy behind. Leave something behind for people that are following the generations. They have to know that they once lived a man like this, once did this, and we are benefiting from it. You see? I
was going to ask you for advice, words to the people, but you've already preempted the question. So,
then you can call me Papa.
It was such a great honor to have you here. We've learned so much, and we're yet to consult even behind the cameras, behind the scenes. And before I even close up, I want you guys have a platform, because I know you're also working on something. Tell us about it, and also tell us about your launch.
There are some things that are still NTPP, not broadcast yet. But actually, in a few weeks, I'll be releasing the video of my song, Tembeni. Remember, on my birthday, on the 29th of July, I released the song Queen and Tower, which is doing so well. I think it's almost 3 months now. It has been in the gospel top 10 because people love the song because of the message. Then I followed up with the song Tembe, so I'll be releasing the visuals in a few weeks. And soon I'll be releasing poems that are there to raise awareness. Like I've said before, I'm good at educating and raising awareness. So soon I'll be releasing a poem that is entitled Raise Your Voice. Then the other one says No to Child Marriages, because there are things that we're going through, things that have to be addressed in order to create a better country, a better future for the future generations. So expect more from me.
Where do they find that? Where will they find all this?
Okay, I have, it's a team of Onesimo on Twitter, it's Ngcotsha Onesimo on Instagram, it's Onesimo Ngcotsha Mpofu on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel, Onesimo Ngcotsha Mpofu. So I'll be uploading my videos there, even my poetry videos, they'll be there, my music videos, because I'm also a gospel musician, a poet. So some of my work, you will find it there. Very soon you'll be getting my books on Amazon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. The launch of the book that we're talking about, it will be on the 29th of October this month. So it will be launched at Galari. Yes, that's the book. That's the book. And it's a blessing because who are going to be MC? So expect more. Expect more.
I would like to say thank you to the National Art Gallery of Bulawayo, who hosted us here. As you can see, the beautiful art. And I'd like to say thank you to Tato, who does our makeup. I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, our partners. Please tune in to our channels on YouTube, AfricaLight.com, on Facebook, AfricaLight.com, on everything. When we leave here, we're going to be leaving while we listen to a poem, Surprise.
Okay, do you know the game that we used to play when we were growing up called Swimming? You don't know it? You know it? Okay, let's do it. Swimming, I go now. Swimming, I go. Yes, yeah, you tell them to get better. I go. You better, you better. I go. Easy to lose. I go. Sa says that. phezulu kwezonquka zesizwe ziqatsana namaqaqoko amaqaqaqo emaqandeni enqunqulu kwenza zaqoqobala senqongweni zamkhothamela ziqunya amakhanda ziyeka bambisa isigila mkhuba sosiba ngoba amabala waqoqa qoqeka qoqaneka uyakhipha ibuqabuqabu kodwa wakhipha qaqamba kuzwakala ubuqabuqabu nokuqaqeqaqeka uqaqeka uzoqhuqhubeke ngithole emqhuqhubo ngaqala kangiqede ithi ngiyibambe lapho koze kuthe sengithe mina ngingashongo ngithi asambe wesimelwane intokazi yakho simelane akungenxa yakho bangidusela ngentolwane bangithumela umathelane behleke beze baqamelana umakhelwane singabanaki laba phela ngamadlandaba awusimelwane batha yame betha unebetha baya kunepeanut butter ama-budget bitter uthando lethu uqinile isicathulo sabo batha noma izitha sethu singasithungatha ngothando lwakho simakade izosisingatha awusimelwane ungenza ngingakhangele eceleni mangihambe lawe hleze ngiphaphame ngiphaphathe kusungasekho ngintulele ezizwe awusimelwane ungenzani awusimelwane intokazi yakosimelwane ngoxoxa izindla yamabhrugwa yadathula imkhaya ngisiya ngekhaya wazoda waze wadla inja umhloka obuthelezi phela wakhohlwa ukuthi iqoma lapho ethanda khona awusimelwane intokazi yakosimelwane asambe ke sibuke imvelo siyehlele imifula sibuke amavevane dlaladlala emalubeni inyosi zihlabela zisiyale ukuthi inyoni zisihlabelela amachule enjabulo awusimelwane mntana womuntu sibuke emalande emkhathini giye senzuvi amangabuzaneke kuloma imide esiyalelale awusimelwane intokazi yakosimelwane ungenzani